Okay, so I don't know what happened, but I was having a technical issue apparently. I just happenstance popped up to look at the video to make sure that I was in screen for you guys. Because I just have a lot of stuff and I had to do a crazy setup to have my phone plugged in tonight. So, and I looked up and it was not recording and it doesn't look like it recorded whatsoever. So, I don't know how this video will start. So let me start kind of again, give you an idea of where I'm at. And if I do end up with that beginning video, I'll tack it on at the beginning and it will just be a weird middle part here, which won't really be in the middle, but, and then I'm just going to have to keep an eye on the video side. So, anywho, working on our domino sets, and I did some UV resin, filled in our holes that I had on this lip here that was definitely bulging, and then filling in slowly this ridge and gap so that it's all smooth and one level. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So, I have less resin, high viscosity, UV resin here, and basically I'm just trying to get a smooth layer so that there's not this gap here, and also so that there wasn't a ridge where those holes I filled in could potentially cut somebody if they rub their hand against them. So, using our Let's Resin UV light, using our Let's Resin resin, and trying to finish up this domino set is where we're at. So, just in case, which it works out, you might have missed all the chaos that was going on in the background of that other video, or we'll have it. I don't know. You know, kind of one of those things, technology. So, this UV light, this Let's Resin UV light does detach, so I can just hold it and hover it over this bigger item, which is nice. It allows me then to be able to do versatile items, basically. So I'm just trying to get enough heat on that to cure it. It almost looks like I've got some holes forming. I hope that it sealed. I checked it earlier. Yeah, we're not going through, so that's good. We're not leaking through. So, and of course with UV resin, you need to cure it with a UV light or with sunshine. Of course, I'm recording at nighttime and it's snowing out. So, definitely chillier. Not a good time to be trying to do resin outside. So it's still a little tacky, so it's definitely going to need a little bit more curing time, but I'm getting really close on it, especially on this edge, and then I'm going to have to work on this edge, but I've been working on this one edge. So, and I'm sorry, I am kind of working a little bit on the faster side, just because in case my earlier video didn't roll for us, it's Christmas time and things are getting a little hectic and stressful for this mama. Trying to get all the things that us mamas do to make the holidays, right? So, not sure if there's other mamas watching that can feel that pain. And truthfully, by the time this comes out, it'll probably be close to Christmas, if not Christmas. I haven't looked at my posting schedule in a couple weeks, so I'm not sure when this series will start. One thing you want to be careful with UV resin is, like, I have some pretty strong lamps in this space right now just to provide light, because this room that I'm in doesn't always have the best of light. So that light can start to make your UV resin get a little gloopy and cure up. So just be aware of that. Like, you know, you don't have freedom to just play with it. But as long as you're working like I am, it's pretty quick. This is the bottom of this, so I'm not like overly concerned about the looks. I just don't want it to like cut somebody or scratch up something, basically, is my goal. So this I'll probably do for 2 minutes and let this cure, just because I do need it to be nice and set up. So if I take my tray out, I might be able to slide this fully in, and then we could start working on our domino pieces. I'm going to see if I can do that. Whew, actually, one of the lights. Let us a little warm. I don't know if this is going to fit inside there. Not quite. But I have a feeling I can do a setup that would work. Like, don't mind me. Let me jimmy rig a setup over here so that we can make it work, that I don't have to keep holding on always. Actually, I thought of something better. I'm just going to use my glitter containers. Yeah, that'll work. That'll help hold it. Alright, so if I didn't get the first video, everything's going to be like, if I didn't, then missed out that I did find my deburring tool. Yay! Part of the issue was I thought it was a black handle. It's silver. This part's black, but this part's silver. So I was looking for the wrong thing, basically, which is just ironic, you know? Just like, okay, yep, sure enough was. I guess a little bit better lighting. Alright, so this, oh yeah, that is nice and smooth. I'm loving that. Loving how that's feeling. Perfect. Perfecto. Alright, so definitely need to work on this side. There's a little bit more here maybe that we could do. So I'm just going to do like an ever so thin little rundown on this side. And then I'm going to do a lot more fill in on this. And then I'll take our tool, our little silicone brush, and just make sure to smooth things out. We don't want to create a crazy bump or something that would then need fixing. Granted, we could fix it, but I don't want to have to fix it if I don't have to. Okay, so while that's curing, whoa, and I put my lid on sometimes when it's curing so that the edge of the bottle doesn't get messed up. So what I wanted my deburring tool for was these edges, these backs of these edges, because they are definitely got some sharp things going on. So this one, oh, I must have like touched silver ink or something, because I was like getting a patch of silver on it. So deburring tool can be a smidge tricky when you first use it, but honestly it is a wonderful tool when you're resin working. So what I would say is, if you have a burring tool and you haven't figured it out yet, don't give up, because it just takes a little patience and a little practice, because this thing just spins and moves, and so that can be very difficult to control, and you could put gashes in your resin. Like this side is not wanting to peel very like beautifully. It's getting kind of bumpy, and so you just gotta kind of be patient with it and work it the way slowly to get it to where you need to. Now we can put a coat of UV resin on the top of these, which we might, especially on some of them. They have some pretty big differences in lips on them, so we may have to. And Like this one though, I don't think needs it, but it wouldn't hurt to just shine up like where we did the deburring tool and just kind of clean it up and give it that finished look. So that's what we might end up doing. But I want to get them all deburred, and then I can decide if I need to do them all or if there's just a select few that really need that deburring of them. And I just can feel a smidge more of a lip here. And so I'm actually using my finger to really hold that into place where I wanted it. Since I'm doing such a short little area, I wanted to make sure that it didn't like get out of control. Okay. Yeah. I know you can't feel this because this is a video, but it is feeling super smooth, which is what I wanted. So that is making me very happy. All right. Let's finish filling this in. Don't mind my shaky hand. My muscles are like, oh, what are you doing to me? Plus I have carpal tunnel in both hands, so that's always fun, you know? That's what you get for using your hands all your life, apparently. And between 10 keying and working at a computer, right? Alrighty. And then crafting and doing things like this that are strenuous on your hand muscles. So nice. Alrighty. Look at this. It's gonna be so nice. So nice. Look, kind of like a bubble was trying to form there. So just kind of pushing that down. Pushing that around. Alright. Let's put you back on for 2 minutes. This way then I'm not getting like, oh my goodness, 2 minutes is forever. So as you can see, just kind of going around it, and you'll see these little threads of resin coming off. The only thing, if you're working in a space like I am, where we're working in a small area, just be sure that you're not flicking these over into your wet resin, which where I'm at, I'm fine. It's not going to, but you would just want to make sure. I've got a pretty big bubble on this one, so that's definitely going to need a spot of UV resin. And what I might just do is I see a dot of it hanging off of our thing right there, so I'm going to just do that and go whoop, right underneath and see if that helped fill it. I don't think it did actually, because I think I still see it on, I think it was too cured on the lip of that. So we'll just put a dot of resin, and I'm going to go straight under the light. No, I take that back. I'm not going to go straight under the light because I can see that it's bulged up now, and I didn't want that. So now we're going to go under the light. I'm like, I lied. Just kidding. Let's try this again. And that little dot won't need probably the full 2 minutes. I'm not like super worried about that, but at least, you know, it gets started. Oh, this is just about done there. It looks rickety over there, so I gotta fill that in. Okay. So yeah, so with the deburring tool, just taking these ridges and lips off, basically. And then around the corners. And like this one I think probably would need to have a clear coat on top. So I'll probably end up doing all of them with a little clear coat, but I try to tell myself that maybe I won't need it, but then I'll probably need it. You know, it's one of those things that like you just kind of have to do it. Alright, so this top part is pretty much done, except it just needed a little extra to get to that edge. Same thing on this edge. I'm gonna just go down all the way. sure that we smooth that out. And then find any dips that right here is a pretty big dip. So getting that filled in. Use our little silicone brush just to make sure that we're not going too crazy. And then we'll go back in. And maybe we get one more of these done. So like this had those flakes kind of hanging over. This will take that right off. And like it almost took kind of a chunk out because of the way that was in there. So probably adding that top layer with the UV resin will be a benefit. Sometimes, you know, it's like those steps that obviously it's going to take us more time to do it, but that's what's needed to make it the finished product and make it take you to that next level, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, it's time consuming, but I never said resin was a fast thing. I think a lot of people, you know, we see these curated videos or curated TikToks and Instagrams, and of course they're sped up and they're curated so you don't see the full process, which is all fine. I love watching those, by the way, just so you know. It's where I get ideas from. But when you see those, you don't see the full process, so it's like, oh, I could totally do that. And then 2 hours later, you still don't have a finished product, and you're like, what the heck? 2 hours of like working on something, not counting curing time, you know. So I think that's where a lot of people probably have been misled by resin. I take it as more of it's an art, and as with any art, it takes time and patience. Which is really funny because I know I've said it before, I'm not a patient-ish person, so, but I think this helps me build my patience is what I would say, more so. Oh yes, this is nice now. So now I think this will stay pretty level. I think what I might do is just do one whole layer across the top just to make it completely solid. And then I have a bubble up here that I need to fix for sure. And it's going to get a little interesting to do that, but we'll get it. And then I have that bubble to fix. And I want to do a little bit of UV resin on these parts. So yeah. Now I touched something that wasn't maybe fully cured, so I'm a little sticky on my hands, but you know. Is fun. I'm going to use both hands to kind of at an angle keep going back and forth on this. It will pull itself together if it has the chance to before it cures, and I do see some bubbles forming, and that's okay. I'll come back with a lighter since we're pulling so much resin in here essentially. And I was going very methodically, but then that was very time consuming, which so is this. But it felt like maybe it would be a little less time consuming. I'm not going to cure that yet, but I do want to pop these two big bubbles that I'm seeing, just so that we can get them popped. Poppity pop popped. I don't want to go all the way to the edge just yet because I want to get this to fill in the gap. It definitely has come together in a lot of spots, but we're still not together, so that means we need more. Mama. Good thing I have another bottle of this. And good thing I can order it on Amazon if I run out on the Dominoes, or I have some coasters that I gotta cover for my daughter. And I'm gonna do them in UV resin. So, it does go a long ways, that's for sure. UV does. But this and the coaster project are pretty big projects for UV resin. And be really careful here on the edge, and I'll clean that up with a silicone brush just to make sure that we don't go crazy. It's looking like I have definitely filled it where it needs to be, all but this edge. I just want to be careful with it to not have it run over. And sometimes, depending on your lighting, or just depending on in general, because it's so shiny, you can't always see if there's like a gap with it. So taking the lighter and kind of just coming over close to it, you might be able to see, oh, like I missed an area, or that didn't come together the way it was supposed to. And you can fix it then. Okay. It's pretty close. So this, I'm probably gonna, we have running it down. Like I said, I wanted to be careful of that. And then I have some on this side too. And I better turn it to make sure that I don't have more. Get that little hair off. Okay. Okay, no, none over there. But I do see where it's not filled right there. So I'm just going to add a little bit. A little dangerous while it's curing, but hey. And don't touch that. That's, yeah. That's a curing. Same thing right here. There we go. Okay. Okay. So I'll probably do 2 minutes, flip it, do the other round of 2 minutes just so that it gets a little extra time, since that's going to be our final coat. Knock on wood. Hopefully so. Alright, deburring tool. We've got 6 of our, I think it's a set of 24 dominoes. So we have 6 of them done. Not bad. I have no clue what we were talking about. Other than just timeline, I guess. Oh, I think, and I might have finished the sentence, so forgive me if I did, but I think for me, it does, crafting, like, calms me down and calms my nerves and anxiety for me. So, I find that if, oh, that is, got some wet, definitely ran down, which is fine. It's, I'm not worried about it because that does need some UV resin, but I don't want it to cure all funky. Okay. And you could wear gloves, but I'm typically not super messy with UV resin, so I don't typically, because it interferes. But I am a little tacky now with my fingers. Oh, my children needed something, and I let them. Now I don't have it in my space, so let's go to another option. My oldest uses alcohol markers, and she'd seen this thing where if you add rubbing alcohol to them, it helps prolong the life of them. So I gave her my rubbing alcohol bottle to refill them, and she's done with it and been done with it, but it never made it back into my space. Should have done better. I should have put it in a different container for her to use, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We all good. So yeah, with anxiety, resin in general, and crafting actually in general definitely helped me. I've picked up my cross stitching again, and I absolutely love it because I can do it like when I'm watching a show with my husband. I could do it sitting in car rider line, waiting for a kiddo to come out. Of course, not driving, but I love doing that, and it just eases my mind. It's better than me playing a game on my phone. Yes, I like playing a game on my phone, but I don't think it helps my mental health per se. It probably gives me more anxiety because you're trying to beat the level. So I'm learning some wellness things to help myself, and it's not even the new year. Oh, this turned out so cool, y'all. So cool. I think it needs to cure a little bit longer. We ended up with a couple divot areas, so I'm going to touch those up really quick, and then we're going to cure it for probably 5 minutes, flip it, cure it for another 5 minutes, just to get a full solid cure. And it's come out so well. It has made this bottom really pop. Kind of makes me sad that that's the bottom. Since it's made it pop so much, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Okay, 5 minutes. We might get a lot of these done in that time. And I'm still just going, you know, you see me just like around the edges. The corners are a little interesting at times, but we're making it work. These are super pretty. I like how they came out. It's kind of one of those, I'd never done something like that, so you just don't always know. But first try was a success. I had beginner's luck. Oh, look at that big old chunk. It's going to get it come off. It's something kind of satisfying doing this. Like just taking off the little lip and edges. It just, in a way, is very satisfying to me. And it would probably bug me if that wasn't curing under there, that I was just doing this. Like it would be like, oh man, I'm wasting so much time just going around and around. But because that has to cure, it's kind of like, okay, my hands are busy. I can work on this and focus on this and not get distracted with another project. That y'all have seen me do it many a times. I never get distracted. ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD with crafts. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's looking good. Bring a few more down here just so that I can stay motivated and feel like I'm making progress. I bought this tool on Amazon. I'll link it, of course, in the video notes. Mine came with extra blade pieces, but I haven't yet to switch mine out. I haven't felt like it's super dull at this point, so I haven't used it like super amount of ton or anything, but this is definitely the piece that is doing it with these dominoes is like perfect. thing to use it on, because you have this straight piece for the most part, and so it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier than if you're trying to do curves like these darn stinking corners that I'm dealing with. Don't mind me. Oh yeah. So much smoother. Like, I almost don't think they need a layer of, like, I'm a little bit worried that if I did a layer of UV resin that I have to like get it so perfect. You know, sometimes less is better. I'm not sold either way yet. Let's just go with that, okay? We're not sold either way. Not sure if I will do a layer on or not. Because one thing I say is, like, sometimes you just have to trust the process and see what's going to happen and see what it looks like. And maybe then you'll decide how you want to do it. This one has a pretty good hole here in the side, bubble hole. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a little dab on it and then use my silicone brush to wipe off as much of the excess, but I think I just pulled it all out of the hole. And we'll just let that sit underneath there. I like the sound too. ASMR sound. The clinking of the resin dominoes. Boy, you never knew how long 5 minutes was until you set a timer. And I'm keeping busy. And yet it still feels like that's been going forever. I'm like, maybe I need to switch it, turn it. But I was committed to 5 minutes on each end. How committed am I? I don't know. That's how I feel. Sometimes quaziness. There it is. Okay. I'm going to push it that way. Do 5 minutes. This guy is not cured yet. Maybe because he's too far from the lamp, the light. Looks like he's all tacky. Keep feeling a little lip. There we go. Okay. I keep standing up periodically just to check and make sure I'm not having more technical issues, which we haven't. So weird. I know I put it on video, turned it to landscape, all that jazz. And then I look up and it's not even recording. I'm like, I have a black screen. That's not good. My first thought was, oh goodness, the phone died, even though I have it charging. And I do this crazy setup to have it charging, because I used my regular cord for something else, and again, it hasn't made it back in here. And I don't know where it is, to be honest. So I had to find a different cord to charge my phone while I'm videoing. And it's not as long as my other one. So, yeah. And I had a longer one, but it's a slow charge cord, so that was not going to help me when my phone was so low. So I thought maybe that was it, that me recording the video just made it, my phone completely die, but nope. I had power still, so I don't know. It's very, very strange. Just weren't meant to have that part, or it's there and I just don't know when I lost you. That could be it. So this one has a bubble like right on the edge, so like it's definitely gonna need a UV resin layer on top so that that bubble gets somewhat filled in and doesn't slice somebody. Somebody doesn't catch their finger on it. So kind of one of those. You know. Do. Yeah, we're getting it. It's pretty cool. They are pretty cool, if I do so say myself. Okay. Only about 20 more. No. Just kidding. 8 more. We're doing good. We have done good. I don't have a big ol' edge and lip on it. So yeah, once you figure out your deburring tool, it works very well. But I would say definitely practice with it if you're not at first succeeding, and then kind of get the feel of how it functions so that you can get the use out of it that you want. This one's really cool. I love how it like pulled in and made a really neat look. Our 5 minutes has to be about up, I would think. We'll do one of the sides, or the ends, I guess. That's what I want to do. Just so that those ends are in good. And then we'll assess these dominoes and see what we need to do with them. We're getting there. Getting there. A couple of these are super satisfying. Got pieces flying, chunks flying off. You want to be careful so that you don't like super divot it, obviously. But me putting my finger up here has really given me control, I feel like, so that I have good control of that and can go where I want it to, especially with just such a small piece. With resin too, I think I've said it in another video, but like I can tell with these dominoes and the case, like you gotta be careful that you don't leave a sharp edge, because somebody could cut themselves and that would not be fun. Oh yeah, that is so much better. A little bumpy in spots, but hey, my gosh, it added some weight to it too. Okay, so biggest thing, there's a hair that is cured inside the resin. So biggest thing, so let's trim that so that when I put this layer on, you can't see it in the resin because the resin's so pretty. Like you can't see it, but it was sticking up. So what I wanted to do was cut it so that as I do this top layer, it's not sticking up. Kind of funky. Ooh, I gotta be careful of these. I think I might have filled that in a little bit. I gotta be careful so that the lid can go on here. So you can see where it hasn't pulled itself together. We add a little bit of resin to that area, and then it will pull itself in. And like I'm constantly just giving a steady squeeze. Okay, let me look here. Yep, did what I thought I did. Funny when I know. Don't mind my head in y'all's view for just a minute here. And I'm trying not to get my hair in the wet resin. Like, talk about having a hair sticking up, you know. I put my entire hair in. Normally I pull my hair back when I'm crafting, but that would have required me to go upstairs and get a hair tie today. So, you know, sometimes this last set I bought just hasn't been as good of my silicone brushes. I'm a tad disappointed in them. Alright, so this one we're going to have to hold just because of the height. And I don't want to turn it sideways because then our resin would run to a side. You know. So we'll sit here. But anyway, these silicone brushes, like, that just popped out of there. I'm like, really? You have not been a good set. You were a great price, but that's probably why you were a great price. That's what my husband would say. He's like, you pay for what you get. Like, yeah, but my last set was basically the same brand and they were fantastic. And this set, I think I've lost 2 tips on them. Oh, it's just so frustrating. I don't even know if that was, I think that's one that hadn't come off before, so I'd be losing 2 tips. Well, that's frustrating. Because it was a nice tip. It did what I needed it to. We have 4 more dominoes to deburr, which is good because my hand is getting tired of that motion. Oh, this looks so pretty. It looks so pretty. I'm so excited by these. I can't wait to have them done. Done. Be so nice. Now we can move to the next project and start a new series, y'all. Pretty exciting. It's like a slow but surely thing. I think it's cured. It looks really cured. I gotta figure out what to do with this corner. Just had to be that funky corner that ended up being at the front. Oh, that is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Came out so good. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do with that corner. Y'all, I just answered my question. I just got to find what I need. Oh, I don't think it's down here. And yet, I'm going to go all in for that way. Nope. It's not down there. I'm prepping my craft space to have my sister and her fiance staying here, and so I have had everything like shifted and moved to accommodate that, and so my small craft space, smaller, let's say. Finding where that stuff, and then use the tech space as is, and then tightened it and made it smaller as you're trying to condense it. Just make things rather interesting. But I know what I want to do with this corner, and I don't want to lose that thought. So bear with me. You guys will stay there, and I have you on my headset, so you should still be able to hear me. Hear my voice, but I'm not working right over there, so let's see. How I fix it. Sometimes, like, I just feel like I'll lose my freaking mind. Okay. This is where it's at. I can like picture it in my head. And it's not there. And I'm like, well, what the heck? Because that's where you had it last. Or, you know, that's where I had put it last. And then you just feel like you lose your mind. And it comes out more for me when I'm super stressed as is. So I already feel like stressed about everything and getting everything done. So then I can't find what I need to get things done. It's the most bizarre thing. And I know what I need to fix it. I know what I need. And I can't find it. Sorry if you guys hear clanking. It's, like I said, I know what it is I want. Ooh, I know. I think I remembered. Just gotta move this chair. Clank. You guys hear all this stuff and you're like, oh my gosh. Not one, but I think, oh, I found it. It's because the chair was in front of the cabinet that it was in, okay? That's my excuse. Alright, so we're going to do something a little bit new, but this is going to work perfectly for what we need. So this is a solid builder gel, and I know it's hard to see because of the lighting. It's giving a really funky glare. Let's see if that helps the camera kind of adjust. So, solid builder gel. You can find this on Amazon. It is a nail gel for doing nails. So it comes in a container like this. I don't want to leave it open for very long because it cures from UV resin. But it's like a jelly and stringy, and it won't stick to your fingers. It shouldn't. So what we can do is now we can build this corner up, and I'm not going to make it like a perfect corner, but I can build it up to where it won't cut anybody now. And I'm going to make sure that we can still slide our piece in so that it's nice and built up. But this is what, that's why I was like, I have to have that. I have to find it because it's the best for this thing that we have going. Because that will cure right up under the light. Done. Done diddly done. I am going to use this gel stuff for another project. But I'm still working on the little these little guys that I'm doing for that game, and that's just been kind of a side project. I might use a little bit of that gel and fill this gap in too, because there's a pretty good hole over here, and this top part is going to be hard to do, so I'm going to do that because that works very nicely. And truthfully, any major hole like that, this might be the cure-all for, like, we have one right here on this corner. Like, it's just not going to need much. But I don't want to deburr this top part because then I rough it up and I don't want it to be all roughed. So the hardest part is getting it to stay where I want it to long enough to cure it. But I think we just did it, y'all. Ah! Game changer! That is a game changer. So I got that for 2 reasons. I got this gel for 2 reasons. One to craft with and one to do really cute nails. I have now determined that my fingernails hate any fake nail on them. They like repel them. I've decided that they just absolutely detest them. So they just say nope. So even with the gel stuff, like I did nails and they are so cute. And they only lasted like 2 days before they all popped off. I'm that tough on my nails, apparently. That's why my nails are really short. And, yeah. So, I decided that, yep, my nails just don't like, I've done the glue, I've done, granted, not, I could go get them professionally done, but I don't got time or money for that. So, you know, I thought I will do them myself. See, there's another one on the corner. We're going to do that on. Eek. I'm so excited by it. Sorry, I'm out of camera while I get this one in place. I try not to do that too often to y'all. And then I learned that you can craft with it. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I will. If it doesn't work on my nails, I'll use it for crafting. Well, guess what, y'all? My nails hated me. So, I've used it now a couple times for crafting. I tried it out with crafting, and I haven't done any tutorial on it. So, here's the first tutorial with it. I'll link it in the, I was going to say the show notes, because I listen to podcasts, and that's what they say. They're like, I'll link it in the show notes. Which I guess it kind of is. I'll link it in the comment, or not the comments, but in the notes for this episode. So if you want to use that, you can. It's on Amazon. It wasn't overly expensive. And a really small amount goes a really long way. For sure. So, I'm like, I gotta watch my time for kiddo bedtime. So like this corner was really bad. We like had a string of those that were really good, and then now we're hitting all the ones that were in a little rougher shape here. But I'm glad I was able to walk my entire storage craft area and figure out where I had stowed this, since it's going to save us extensively for sure. For sure. Oh yeah. And like, I think I'll be able to tell where I've put this stuff in a corner, but I don't, honestly, I don't think anybody else would. I'm not trying to be mean when I say that, but I just really don't think they would see it. Yeah, that filled in nicely. Now it's a little rough. So I'm going to take my Dremel and ever so gently okay, so I know that's all scuffed up and looks ugly. Don't fret. That's still a little rough there too, but oh, it's so much better. I'm gonna do this too. Just try to like take that first layer that's super rough off. It needs to be on a little higher speed. Okay. Oops. kids. That's where they have been on one. For sure. So, I think I said it in my first video that maybe didn't record or did record. I don't know. But basically, I'm putting Mom in a timeout tonight and coming into craft. So, but they're not really behaving themselves while I'm in here. But my husband's out there, so they'll be fine. I just gotta not get on each other's nerves. Okay, so all I did was just put the thinnest layer of resin on there. And then, for the most part, I kind of just wiped it off. But that shined it up and will cure it, and you won't even be able to tell. So that's good. Get all this dust and little resin curly cues. Okay, we have one more. Okay, let's get with it. We're going to finish this up. Because we can. Then I'm going to make a decision if I'm doming the backs or not. And I don't know. I'm like, time, finished product. Time, finished product. I don't know. I'm going to turn them all over and look at them and make a decision. Some just might have to have it in. Others would probably be okay, but we will determine that. Dropping stuff. I just want to move that over. Let's see. This guy is relatively good. I do think I need to just do a quick couple. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was needed. You know, sometimes you do something and you're like, yep. Yep. I was on it. I was on it. I knew it. So, just a couple strips of this. Nothing too major. You're not taking off much. You can tell that that has green in it because of the way it is. But it just takes enough off that allows it to clean that up. This still has a little bit of a lip, so I'm going to go a little bit more on it like this and just kind of get that lip off of there. And you can see where the bubbles are that have popped up that were in there, basically like right here and there. But I think if I use just a little bit of this gel stuff, that we can create a good barrier there so that that's not so sharp of a spot and not have to UV resin it per se and mess it up that way. You know what I mean? Let's see. Just all about working it. Like work it. Okay. Hear that? Oh yeah, that is so much better. That's gorgeous, y'all. Gorgeous. Let's see. Okay, so we've done the front. We should do this back side. And we're gonna basically do like what we did on the front and the bottom. I'm gonna fill this all in. I'm not so worried about this. We're a smidge worried about that. Not majorly worried, but there is just enough of a hole there that I don't want the UV resin to roll under and fill in our area. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this gel. Not anything major. Oh, I think I dropped it. Okay, I had such a little piece of that gel that I've lost it. Okay, let's Let's try that again, shall we? What does it do is just put a little bit of it on there so that we don't lose resin all the way in there. And we'll just do a little curing of it. Wondering if I should do the other side. Probably. We're getting there. We are getting there. Oh yeah, that like super solid really fast. This stuff is game changer. And we've used such little of this container. So it's absolutely worth it. I can't remember what I paid for the container, but I can tell you it wasn't a crazy amount. Was not an insane crazy amount because I don't do that. Maybe a few things I spend lots on. Good pair of shoes, which I'm not really great about spending the money on shoes, by the way, but I'll preach it. Good pair of shoes, good resin, and all my other stuff I do not follow. Okay, now let's move this resin to the bottom and start getting it filled in. So we have a pretty big gap here at the bottom to get that sort of evened out. So hopefully we can do that. It's like Oh, Alexa decided she needed to be a part of this conversation. She does that periodically. I don't know why. It's not like I said anything even close to her. Oh my goodness, my hands are cramping, but we're almost there. That's another reason why I don't necessarily want to put resin on the back of the Dominoes, but I might just have to. I might just got to. I'll time in here a minute. Big bubble. There's a gap there. Some little bubbles. Get them out of there. On this piece, like, bubbles wouldn't be like the end of the world. Like, if this cured up with a couple bubbles in there, that is going to be more of an issue. And I'll get that out of there. That is a piece of the resin scrap that dropped in. If we don't get it out, we just got to get it to blend, which I think is what it's doing. So, perfect. I like it. Y'all, I like it. I'm just gonna turn, make sure that we're not dripping anything crazy. And then, I think our box is pretty much done. There's not much I'm going to do to the lid because honestly it needs to be able to slide in and out. And if I do anything, I'm going to mess with that. And I don't want to. There is a scratch on this side when I was sanding down our edges that I do want to clean up. And that's just going to take a little bit of resin. And then we'll look at these dominoes and see if we need to dome the backs or if we think that they're good. I feel like I'm going to regret it if I don't dome it, but then I'm going to regret it if I do dome it. I'm really having a quandary here. See, I don't always go in well planned. Hopefully that's what some of y'all like about my videos, is that I'm very raw and unedited. So, like, you just don't go in planned. Whew, that is hot. So UV resin will get really warm. Just as an FYI. This feels so much more solid now, which is awesome. So I'm hoping we don't have an issue, and it slid in and it slides out. It's not always the most smooth, but it definitely works. So I do believe I need to clean up the tops of these. Like I said, there's not much we can do with this guy. I see where it's getting hung up. So we'll Dremel that. Sure. Find our on button. That's where I put that gel. And it gets really solid. On such a small piece, I probably should have just dremeled out those bubbles, because now I kind of have dremeled out that edge, but it's still going to close and look fine. I'll probably be the only one that can see that, because yeah, once it's in, you don't even see it. You don't even see where that is more curved and indented there. So yeah, I like it, y'all. Okay. Let's fix this little scuff. It's not going to take much. This bottle's getting low. Put just a little bit of resin in the scuff. And if we take our brush, our silicone brush, we can kind of level that out. And then it won't be super caught up on that, but it will do what we wanted it to do, essentially. Now a little bit rolled down to the top part, but I am going to put a bit of resin around the top, so I'm not super worried about that. Let it roll down. I was more worried about getting that scuff out. And it probably doesn't need much longer. Oh, and I was telling y'all that UV resin does get hot, so like if you touch it right after, oh, that's still tacky. Right after, you could burn yourself. Whew, this has got a sharp corner, and it's not where I filled it, it's just super sharp. There it is. That had to be. Okay. So you could definitely cut yourself on resin because it's solid and sharp if it's edgy. Let me start laying some of these out. I think I'm gonna have to demo them, y'all. I didn't want to really. And truly, but I think they just need it. I don't know. I'm not asking my husband's opinion. Some of them look like they're a lot shorter than others. There are some. They're not all even. It's a craft. So you're not going to have everything be perfect. But some look shorter because they have more clear on top of them than the others do. Like this one looks really tall, but he's not really that much taller than this one. It's just that the colorant is deeper in there because he got more clear coat and this one got very little clear. See, I really feel like I could pass without doing them. There's a good part of me that feels that way. Then there's a part of me that's like, I don't know. I don't feel like they need domed. I don't know. And I think it looks worse because like that one is so colorful, filled, full, not like colorful in colorness, but its color is very full. This is really confusing to try to say, but then like these have more clear filled into them than the color, like this one, so it looks like it's shorter and could use a top coat, but it really doesn't necessarily need it. Yes, you can see some of the edging where I deburred them and smoothed them out, but it's not like overly terrible. So I don't know. Let's get our top. I'm gonna pull this out though so that I don't accidentally like spill onto it. I am gonna do the front of that just to more shine it up than anything, because I just want it to be shiny. Okay. Just make sure that we didn't tip down. Yeah, I think we're good. Our tanks were good, y'all. So we're gonna put that under. Alright. I'm gonna let that, I think, cure up. I'm gonna go ask my husband about these. So I'm gonna pause y'all. That way I can do that. Alright, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. As you can see, you're bouncing. I don't want to admit how long it took me to find my headset when I came back over. So I left it in the space so that it wouldn't disconnect from my phone. So I wouldn't pull that thing again. So anywho, just don't mind me. I'm a mess. Luckily it wasn't too super long that I had left for him. But it was pretty comical. And they were right in front of me. Anywho, so I talked to my husband. He agrees they're good. No need to demo them. Just make sure no sharp edges. Because, you know, it's for his parents. They're older. Yada, yada, yada. Blood thinners. And, you know, they cut themselves and they would bleed. So, we don't want to take them out by cutting themselves on a Dominoes. So, I'm just rubbing my fingers essentially all around them again, just to make sure there's not any like super sharp point. And then I flip that so that it can cure on the other side, because yeah, that's nice and cured. Eek, I'm so excited, y'all. And I agree. After looking at them with him, I'm like, doming is not necessary. Not necessary. This one has a little bit. I might need to pull from this angle just the way it's lipped. Oh yeah, so much better. Let's draw the corners. It's like they're rounded, so it's a little tricky. Man, that looks so good with, oh, that looks so good with that gel in it, and then I just like pop it right out of there. It looked really good until like I messed with it and broke it out of there. So that corner I'm going to put a little bit of gel in there. Let's see. Because it did look really good. It's just that I decided to mess with it. And then, you know, sometimes when you mess with something, and maybe you should have just left it alone, left well enough alone, as they say. Yeah, that's what I should have done. But instead I picked at it, and it's like a scab. I'm so bad about scabs. And I always have been. I don't know if that's just a thing that, like, if you were bad at picking out scabs when you were a kid, if you just bring that into adulthood. My mom tried to make me not. I mean, she tried really hard to make me not pick my scabs. But I think it's partly the anxiety and like OCD-ness or something. That's what I told myself. I self-diagnosed myself. You know, being a doctor over here. Hee hee hee, not really. Just going all around, seeing if there's any other little imperfections that I need to maybe address. I mean, it is art, so you're going to end up with, obviously, some little imperfections. It's just, that is part of it. Okay. That one has a sharp corner. So clean that up. Like, there's a little bubble here, a little bubble there. I'm not going to fill those. They're so tiny. I think I did pretty good on round one with these. Of course, I found a string of them that I didn't do so well. But, and honestly, I don't think those are bad. I just think I could clean up like a corner or two that's maybe just a smidge sharp. Otherwise, I think they're really fine. Like, I truly don't think somebody would cut themselves on it, because I'm, you know, rubbing my fingers all over, and I'm not slicing my finger open. So, okay. Let's just do a little more cleanup on this, on that. Yeah. I think this is got this one so much better. Yeah. So much better. I'm like, what was even sharp on this one? Then I found it. There's this corner. Sometimes just changing the direction that you are going at it helps just get that extra little bit off that is causing there to be a troublesome little piece. Oh yeah, we're coming along nicely. I'm gonna put these in the box, and that's gonna be cool. Then we are gonna do the tops of these little game pieces, because I have an idea for them, and I've been kind of excited to do that, because I need to do, not that this isn't fun, don't get me wrong, this is fun, I love crafting, but do something that, like, I'm not stressed about getting done, kind of thing. Yeah, this turned out really good. Okay, so in theory, our dominoes should all fit in here. Some of these are so pretty. The only thing is, the container is a little bit sharp. I don't think I've stuck any in here yet, so. Where is this sharp at? Can I just take an ever so thin layer off just to make it not sharp? And I can. So. I mean, just by doing one strip on this made a huge difference. That click, click you're hearing is when I'm hitting a bubble. That's just not smooth. But that made that so much better. Okay, back to this. So it's actually a little wider than it per se needs to be. Maybe you're supposed to do it this way? No? That wouldn't make sense. Anyway, ignore that. This one's so pretty. I kind of want it on top. I don't think it really matters because they're all really, really pretty to me. But I think having some unique ones on top would be fun. I feel a corner on this one. Again, I don't think anybody would cut themselves on it, but just take it off. So it actually, I don't think you could do a whole nother set of 6, but you could get close to probably, if you put some sideways in, you probably could get another, close to another set. I don't know if that would be worth it or not, but it's kind of cool. And then the container. Look at that. Look at that. It's so cool, y'all. So cool. Came out really good. I'm happy. So yeah, that's that. Alright. Let's do this other thing that I want to do. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. When you're stretching down, we're going to put this back together because we're going to want it together for this project. And I am going to clean off my lid because it is gross. So this is just some rubbing alcohol in a little Dollar Tree squeeze bottle. It's actually cured on here. So because of that, it just pops right off. And looks like I saw my lid. It has something in it. Here we go. Okay. That is back together. We aren't going to need that at the moment. We might in a little bit. But for now, I do this. I make such a mess. I'm like, it's so gross. Okay. Now, I have to make a choice on this. I have to make a choice. I think that one's going to be my best. Truthfully. Okay. So we're going to do something kind of fun. It's going to take just a little bit because it's not going to be a quick thing per se-ish. So, and I had, had all the stuff I needed. Alrighty. But I'm excited. Okay, so this is just like a little makeup brush. Nothing too fancy. Oh yeah, it is a Wet n Wild makeup brush. Dipping it in blue mica. And this is the mold that I'm going to use, this flower right here. And I am brushing the blue mica on. And you'll see why. Like, trust the process, trust the video. Trust thy teacher. Although I really don't consider myself a teacher, but I guess that's all be, right? Okay. And then for the sake of that, I'm just dumping extra out, okay? I don't know why I'm cleaning the brush because I don't need to. We're going to be using this gel. And what I want is to get a bigger container. And we might not even do a container because I know what we're going to use. Because I want to have enough mixed of it, of this color, so that it's consistent, basically, is what I want. So, I have another one of these Dollar Tree silicone mats that I haven't used yet, so it's nice and clean. And that's what we're going to use to mix our other portion of this, I guess. That we're going to mix our gel and our mica. Okay. So, I'm basically, I need 6 of them. And I need them to be consistent. Lay the same. So I'm going to assume that it's going to take about this amount to fill that. And then I'm going to go a little extra than what I think. And I'm using that same gel that we did, which I hope I have enough because this looks like it's a lot more than what it is. And I'll show you here in a minute. 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty. 5. Oh, it's not supposed to really stick to your skin, but sometimes it does. 6. I think that's gonna be more than enough. So anyway, this container looks like it's this big, but the lid or the bottom of it, it's like a fake bottom. It looks like it goes all the way, but look, it literally only goes to like there. Rude. Not that, I mean, truly, it's not a really expensive. I want to say it was like 10 bucks for this container. So, not outrageous, but I'm just saying it's a little deceiving. Okay, so I am mixing a silver mica into this gel, basically. And we are going to be covered. I probably should have put gloves on to do this, but then this would stick to the gloves and that would be a whole thing. So you know what, we're just diving in and rolling with it. Okay. Kind of reminds me of slime mixing, what I see my kids do with slime. If anybody else is in that phase with their kids, I'm for the most part mine are out of it, but yeah, you will get through it, I promise. It does come to more of an end. It does take time though. Just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that yes, carpets have been ruined. And furniture. And clothes. And I've been there. Alright, so as I'm mixing it, it's getting a little bit sticky to where it is sticking to my fingers. And I remember using it before. Of course, I haven't done this on video, but when I was just practicing, did you hear that air bubble pop? That when I used gloves, it would start to stick to the gloves, and that was very frustrating, so that's why I opted that, and I kind of forgot. But, so, you can see now it's like this pearly white. The mica powder helps make it not so sticky in the sense of like, it's kind of like flour. And then I can sort of get it off my fingers. But my goal is to have this well mixed so that it is consistent. And then we did the blue just to give us some color. But I didn't want the whole thing to be blue. So, okay. Get it off of one. It's these two fingers that it's really wanting to stick to. And then I get it off of them and it sticks to another finger on my other hand. Okay. Okay. We're almost there. We almost got it. Okay. Now, we have to be careful to not let this get in the UV light while each one is curing. Okay, so we are, and I don't want it to get stuck everywhere. So before I do the UV light, we'll fix that. But basically I'm getting a little ball of it, and what I want to do is I want to push it into this mold as much as possible. It's not what I expected to happen. It's really cute. That's not what I expected. Oh man, it like totally stuck to my finger, and now this is going to be a blue blob. Maybe it's gonna be that we mix blue in with it. Goodness, why is some of it sticky and some not? Like, how do I make it not sticky? Like, stop sticking. Okay, this has turned into a hot mess. So, hold on. Okay, when we roll it, we start to get it off. It's when I touch it for too long that then I'm sticking. Okay. Yep. It's like slime. Very much like slime. I'm just trying to get the little bits off of my fingers, and then I can wipe them better. And I'm hoping that if I put some rubbing alcohol, that maybe that will create a barrier. Or it might make me more sticky, I don't know. We will see. Okay. Let's find our Wet n Wild brush that we have successfully lost under here. Let's coat this back with some blue. And let's take this and make a snake, because that's what I did. And ultimately, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't end up with a funky bubble or something of that nature. Oh my goodness, it all fell apart on me. It's so pretty though. I love how it looks. I love how we're turning out. If I could just get it to where we could cure it. I'm thinking the alcohol made me stickier. Okay. I'm tempted to go throw this in the freezer, but then I don't think I'd be able to mold it. See, I didn't fully practice, y'all. This was on the whim. Oh my goodness. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Okay, here's what not to do. Okay, don't get all stuck together. I am going to try a finger cut as a buffer. And see if that works. And yes, I put it on my left finger because I can do things with both hands, so. I know that I don't need this much, so I'm gonna go ahead and like chop off a portion. Nope, it just is a hot sticky mess. It's so cute if I could just get it in here long enough to have it fully shaped, because the problem is I've got too much, like I only need this amount right here. Alright, 100th time is going to be the charm, y'all. I am going to go ahead and roll another ball about that size, because my thought is that then I would know how big of the ball I need. I should have put a finger cut just on 4 fingers. That would have maybe been smart on my pointers and my thumbs, because it seems to be not sticking to the finger cut, so that's really pretty. Okay, it's a little big, but I think it's workable. Yeah, I would definitely suggest probably putting something on, because I think the alcohol is just making it more sticky, and the rubbing alcohol is allowing me to get it off, but then it's making my fingers more susceptible to get sticky, it seems. That's my theory. So, putting another finger cut on my thumb so that I can work. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted. Okay? Yeah, this is what I wanted to be able to do. Okay. So, we are going to cure that, but like I said, I don't want this to get UV light, so we just got to make sure that it doesn't get affected by the UV light. And by me covering it with the thing, it's probably more than sufficiently not going to get hit by it. But as an extra precaution, I am going to put a barrier here. And I do want to make sure my bottom lights come on so that this can cure from both top and bottom. So, and while that's doing that, and I'm blocking this with my left hand, I'm just working to get the bit of sticky off my right hand. Like, my gracious. What a mess. And I'm all sparkly from mica powder. Like, all pretty. All pretty. But, you know. So, 2 minutes. I'm not going to get distracted. We're going to sit here. And we're going to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. And try not to stress about the 10,000 other things that I need to do. But it's okay. I'm meant to be right here with y'all working on this project, and that's what's meant to be. So that's what I'm going with. I'm so excited by this. I hope this works. I hope it works. I'm hopeful. I think if it comes out how I have envisioned in my head, then we'll be good. If it comes out better than what I've envisioned in my head, then we're golden. If it fails, then I don't know what to say. It's like one of those. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, we can do this. The 2 minutes is up, right? Like, jeez. Jeez. This one circle has a pretty big hole bubble in it. I'm wondering if I can put just a smidge of the gel in with the black and nobody notice. I'm gonna do it. Okay. It's beautiful, y'all. So, I think it needs to cure a little longer. But what I'm thinking is that it sits on all of these. I glue them together. And then this is how you would choose your piece and pick it up and be able to see your letter. And doing it glue, my thought is that they'll all be the same. Hoping that they will all be the same. Okay. So, got our UV light blocking that. I'm going to go ahead and powder up our mold. And you can just wash these molds with some water and that mica powder is going to come out. Or some UV, or not UV resin, Lord, rubbing alcohol. It's going to come out. I know that this was a smidge much, so I'm just going to pull a smidge off, but I really should have put a finger caught on. When am I going to learn? I don't know if y'all can see, so I'll try to come back over here. So this one, yes, has white on the bottom, but I'm not super worried that if it has white on the bottom because that's going to be glued to a piece. But just in case, we're just going to put a little coat of the blue on it, and then I don't think we'll have an issue. We had probably just a smidge too much still. And I took a smidge out. Like I said, I don't know if you're still on camera at this angle, so it's just gotta roll with it. Here. Put that on for 3 minutes. I'm going to take the smallest piece off of here and see if I can mix just a smidge of black into it. Actually, I think I used this black pearl. And really, it's not going to take much. The only thing is that it might look blue because I have blue on us. Let me see how I can make more of a mess of my space, which that mica just went all over here, which is so lovely. Yeah, let me see how much more of a mess I can make of my space, or of my fingers, or of my hands, or anything. Y'all, anything. It's not the exact black. I kind of wonder if this was the black. So I'm just going to dab this tool in it. And kind of just brush over that. I'll just throw that in there. think. I can't believe I spilled milk all over. Lord. Just a mess. A mess, y'all, a mess. And of course I didn't keep what size of a ball that worked. So we're just gonna have to guesstimate again. Roll it in this blue over here. It's getting some black on it too, but it's gonna be covered, pretty certain. You know, I have mica everywhere. We're just a mess. Just a mess. Yeah, but it looks so good. So this one did not cure as well. I'm wondering if I need to put it back in. But I don't know which way it came out. And it's not coming back in the most easeful. Okay, let's try that. And let's throw it back on. That one came out pretty good. The blue mica, I think, is making it a smidge hard for it to cure, and the fact that we added the silver in, I think that causes it to not have, oh my gosh, that's way too much. It doesn't have the transparency to cure up as well as it could if it were clear or more iridescent. But I think overall, touched it with the finger, that doesn't work well with. I'll say this is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be. And I'm glad that I chose a relatively undefined mold, because some of these have like intricate detail, and I think that would have been extremely detrimental for what we're doing. Oh, this finger is just covered in this gel. Just ever so slight. My finger cots are almost getting sticky now, so it's like, I think I'm gonna switch them out. I've got 10 zillion finger cots, so let's just not be so concerned about potential waste of finger cots. And let's just get some new ones on. And I'm going to put one on this one finger that I keep touching it with. And I had 3 finger cots here perfectly, which is pretty cool. I have more, but I had 3 in this area that one just broke. Okay. Let's just get another one. Okay. Huh. Basically, when I pop these out, they're still very soft. So like this one didn't even really cure up with the shape, I would say. So I'm going to put him back in. And we'll see if we get him cleared up. And so, like, I made sure to go in and, like, keep curing these, basically. That seems to have worked. I'm going to put it maybe here so that it can... We'll see. I'm just thinking about my kids being like, I could tell because that one had a bump right there. So I knew it was whatever person they think it was. That flower was a little deformed, I would say, but we're gonna roll with it for now. We're this far in. Let's just keep going. We made this much of a mess. Let's just keep rolling with it, right? That's gonna be way too much. I can tell. I'm starting to definitely get it down pretty close to a science. Only a 4 in for that. Not bad, right? Not bad. Even my tool is getting stuck in it. Ugh. As you can see, this gel self-levels. So, like, it levels itself out. It's sitting there. My peachy cat wants to come say hi. Hey, sweet girl. She's like, this is my attention time, Mom. You're in here, and I need attention. Right now. Not right now, baby. In a little bit. Just getting us a couple extra all in here. And I basically am going to just keep, I think I might have to start curing him twice before I pull him from the mold because he's really deformed too. Like I felt like the first one cured up pretty good. And then, like, in the mold pretty well. And that we were fine. But then, since then, we haven't been curing so well in the mold. So let's do 3 minutes on it. And then see what happens with it. Kind of thing. So I don't even know how many I have now, how many I've made. I'm worried, am I going to have enough to make what I want? Like when it's not sticky, that's pretty cool. I like spiral it. You could probably make shapes out of it, kind of like clay or Sculpey.
I would probably not do so solid of color that I'm doing, just because it's not curing up, but it is pretty cool of a product to use. That will be more. Just trying to get us some balls together so that we get this cured. This is the problem, I only have one of that mold, so I can't, like, now I've got my thumb and middle finger on this end. Okay. Stop getting stuck to my middle finger. Okay, so we did 3 minutes. I'm hoping that that gives it enough time to, oh yeah, that helped for sure. So I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna do 3 minutes. Like that. This looks good. Oop, don't let that be too long. Yeah, I think this has probably a smidge too much. Might as well just get it off of there. So that would probably make, I think I have 2 good ones. That'll make a 3rd good one, and then if I can make 3 more good ones, I feel like that will be good. And then obviously stuff can't go to waste, and I spilled mica powder in this mold, so I'm just gonna use this to help pick that mica powder up. And then do a couple other flowers with the extra. I didn't want to get too crazy with it until I know that we've got at least 6 good ones, but I think we're getting close to having 6 good ones, so I'm gonna, it's just another makeup brush, y'all. I'm gonna just do a few in this mold. That's kind of a pinkish red, just because we have, this is the one that's kind of mixed with black. Again, I don't know if I'm on screen over here, just because of the way the table's set up right now. think those will look cute. You know, just using a little bit of our, what we have. Because then what I can do is choose like the 6 that look the most similar and so forth. Had a feeling I was a smidge over. Probably still a smidge over. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on 3 minutes to let that cure up. That way we just know that it's got it in there. Just because I want to make sure, kind of thing. And I'll probably just use that bit that has the blue in it and put it there, and we'll have enough to do 3 more with it. And then when the one that I did the red in comes out, we'll use this other up with it so that we've used it all and not wasted. I could try to store it, but I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'll use these little flowers for something, so I might as well just get them made, kind of thing. This is my thought. Ugh. I have to go wash my hands so well. I forgot I had that little roller piece in there. Like funny. And I'll probably kind of just leave these on the tray. Just because I want them to finish curing, because some of them are still pretty soft and kind of sticking. So what I might do is, once I've got them all out of the mold, I'll be in this space for a little bit tonight, and I'll probably just put the UV light on like a 5-minute, and then next time I think about it, I'll pop it back on a 5-minute for 2 or 3 rounds of that, just so that it can finish setting fully up, basically. And I hope that we are still recording, because all the issues I had earlier. Oh yeah, we are. And yeah, you probably haven't been able to see all the work, so I apologize on that. But like I said, we are kind of set up funky tonight. But at least you're getting to see this part. So, I feel like I'm probably rushing it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to pop it out. Basically, I'm going to have 2, 3, 6, 7, 10 of them made up, and I'll choose the 6 that are the most similar to one another, the most the same. That's my thought. Oh, these are cute. Color's a little funky, but that's okay. That's fun. Put them under there too. Alright, let's build this mold up. Let's see. I'm going to do a couple purples because I love purple. And this is a really pretty purple. I'm going to add just like a smidge of the purple into these. Just make that fill kind of, you know, because they're just use up our gel powder that we have. I think I do need to do a little bit of gold on this last two, like right in the center. Just because it's so pretty. And then we'll do, I don't even know if we'll fill all these, but you know, we'll have them coated in mica. And we'll see what happens. Still sticky, y'all. Still sticky. My finger caught on this one finger, like kind of came off in a way, and then it just like got stuck and it was over. That turned out like a really pretty color. Just the way it is. We'll see how it turns out in the actual. Moving quick does help if you move quick with it. These going, so pull it out. Now I was doing really good about using my pointer finger and my thumb, and then suddenly I just like start using that middle finger and it's created such an issue. I don't think I'm gonna get this one fully full, but that's okay. That one I got pretty dang like perfect amount for it, which was rather amazing. This one has like sides that are really like concaved in. See if I have enough for this. And not really. I'm just gonna add it to this one. If I can get my finger back. Like, please and thank you. Okay. I think that was a good use of that. So we'll just stick that in there. one more. And then I will clean myself up. And we'll let these keep setting up, essentially. Yeah. That kind of thing. Trying to put some of my micas away. Like, I get so messy at times. It's crazy. Yeah, the center is not holding up so well. I don't know if it's just not curing, if it's just not powdered enough, I don't know. So, like I said, we'll choose our 6 most alike, and that's what I'll roll with if I decide to ultimately do that. If I ultimately decide to use them, I don't know. We'll see. I'll use them for something. I just don't know if it'll be this project. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 minutes since, you know what, like, it ain't going to hurt anything. And I don't have more of that stuff, so, you know, it's fine. This I'll have to wash, but for now, just wiping a little bit with. You can put some rubbing alcohol on and see that will wipe off. Look at that. It's just that I don't want to do too much because I will end up staining my fingers. And for now, I'm just going to kind of roll it up, and it's got all that on it. Like, what a mess. So, your brush, when you do makeup brushes or like use a brush for mica powder, you just basically wipe it off. Like, you know, you could soak it in a little rubbing alcohol and that would clean up as well. If you wanted to have it more cleaned up, I'll show you really quick. Like, I'll put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in this little saucer. And then, obviously, you wouldn't use this brush until it's fully dry, just because if you use it now for mica, it would get all goopy and stuck. But that's just the rubbing alcohol, and it's pulling the colorant out of it. And then a paper towel. And then I would just let that dry, and essentially, it will be good for the next time that you want to use it. So that's it. And this, you can just, it's not enough rubbing alcohol that it's needs to be dumped or anything. Just paper towel and silicone brush or silicone cup, and it's done. So that's kind of how that is. I am going to wash my hands really good tonight here in just a minute, because I've got mica powder. I kind of turned like all weird color and so forth. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this series with the dominoes. I'm so happy with how they came out. It's actually quite stout and heavy and looks pretty good. So we'll let that set up. I won't wrap it for another few days at least, just to let that finish fully curing up and getting fully solid. But it's essentially, you could wrap it tonight and it would probably be fine. But super long last episode. I think this might be my longest since I see that it's over 2 hours. But I hope you enjoyed, and I didn't want to make it go a whole nother one. So I will see y'all again soon. Bye.